A woman appeared in the 1980s, bold and unapologetic, and the world thought she would be a passing shock. 4 decades later, she is still a name, still a headline, still a force. Not because she stayed the same, but because she never stayed the same. This is Madonna's power, reinvention. Not once, not twice, but endlessly, turning transformation itself into her brand, and proving that relevance is not found in youth or beauty, but in adaptability. Here is the paradox. The moment people think they have her figured out, she discards the skin they recognized and steps into another. Where other stars cling desperately to the image that made them famous, Madonna kills her own image before the public can. She burns the costume, writes a new script, and forces the world to meet her again. That is why she endures. She does not wait for obsolescence. She reinvents before irrelevance can touch her. In the 1980s, she was the rebel, tearing through religious imagery, shocking with sexuality, playing the provocateur. In the 1990s, she pivoted, sleek, spiritual, experimental, suddenly the chameleon of art and style. In the 2000s, she merged fitness and discipline with pop stardom, embodying control. When the culture shifted toward wellness and perfection, every era was an answer to a question no one had asked yet, but everyone recognized once she showed it. That is the lesson. You don't follow the times, you preempt them. Her first law of reinvention. Shock is not chaos, it is strategy. She used controversy not as accident, but as spotlight. Every outrage, every scandal, every pearl-clutching headline fed her myth. Understand this: attention is neutral. It can be hostile or adoring, but it is still fuel. Madonna knew this early. If they are talking, you are relevant. If they are silent, you are dead. Better to be scandalized than ignored. She weaponized outrage and converted it into visibility. Second law, control the frame. Madonna has never allowed herself to be a puppet of tabloids. She manipulated them. Each reinvention was deliberate. The photo shoots, the costumes, the music videos. She forced the media to chase her, not define her. When they called her shocking, she doubled down. When they called her irrelevant, she emerged transformed. Most women respond to critics. Madonna turned criticism into choreography. Third law, use sexuality as sovereignty. Where women were shamed for desire, Madonna turned desire into dominance. She knew the danger and power of erotic capital, and she wielded it unapologetically, not as a victim, not as an accessory, but as an architect. She made sexuality political, commercial, and cultural. The difference: ownership. She staged it, she packaged it, she profited from it. That is why it never broke her. She used it as a tool rather than being used by it. Fourth law, discipline behind the chaos. What people saw was rebellion and excess. What they missed was her machinery of control. Madonna was ferociously disciplined. Workouts, rehearsals, image management, contracts. She knew longevity requires steel behind the spectacle. Many imitate the chaos and forget the discipline. That is why they vanish. She stayed. Fifth law, legacy through fearlessness. She entered every decade willing to be mocked. Reinvention means killing what once worked. That terrifies most women. They cling to approval, to comfort, to what once brought applause. Madonna teaches the opposite. Kill the applause before it kills you. Reinvent or decay. Risk ridicule or fade quietly. She chose risk every time, and she is still here. Now pause and think. How many women of the 1980s pop landscape are still relevant? Most are nostalgia acts. Madonna is still a present tense. That is not an accident. That is the dividend of reinvention. So what does Madonna's playbook teach you? First, don't cling to one identity. The woman who insists on being the pretty girl, the sweet girl, or the cool girl becomes boring. Reinvent, switch aesthetics, switch tone, switch rhythm. When people think they know you, change. Mystery lives in motion. Second, don't fear controversy. Fear irrelevance. When people talk about you, even with disdain, you occupy their imagination. Use criticism as a signal you've struck a nerve. Refine it. Own it. Convert it into proof of your relevance. Third, sexuality is not weakness when it is owned. Display it on your terms when it suits your narrative, when you profit from it. The woman who hides it out of fear cedes power. The woman who flaunts it recklessly becomes disposable. The woman who directs it strategically becomes unforgettable. Fourth, discipline is the invisible backbone of reinvention. You cannot change skins without infrastructure. Fitness, contracts, teams, relentless control. Reinvention looks wild, but it is rehearsed. Build routines so strong that chaos cannot break you. Fifth, anticipate shifts. Don't wait for the culture to change. Read the signals, move early, become the example. By the time others imitate, you will already be moving again. The imitators will be trapped in your old shadow while you blaze new ground. Sixth, kill what works. If you are receiving applause for something, ask, is this applause a trap? Madonna walked away from personas that still sold millions. She chose rebirth over stagnation. That is courage. That is why her story spans decades instead of years. Seventh, control the myth. Don't let others tell you who you are. Feed the world symbols, images, and language that reinforce your legend. People will remember what you repeat. Decide what to repeat. And finally, accept that reinvention will cost you approval. Some will sneer. Some will say you are too much, too old, too different. Let them. Irrelevance is worse. Relevance requires enemies. If you are not making someone uncomfortable, you are not moving. Madonna never begged to be liked. She demanded to be noticed, and being noticed is the first step to being remembered. The lesson is sharp. If you want to endure, do not marry yourself to an image. Marry yourself to motion. Reinvent before the world demands it. Kill your old self before they bury her. Use controversy as spotlight. Use sexuality as sovereignty. Use discipline as infrastructure. And above all, embrace risk as the price of immortality. That is why Madonna remains not just a star, but an institution. She proved that beauty fades, youth passes, trends expire. But reinvention, wielded with fearlessness and control, can make a woman eternal. And that is the true definition of power.